Really unfortunate. Roadmap. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, well, we'll just try to like run through this really quickly. Again, going into like going into the base case, where we're reiterating. So we have a base case where we're checking like some kind of bounds. We have creating decisions, and then we're going to be passing the variables down. Now, passing the variables down, I think, is like the trickiest part to recursion. Is that like you have to kind of think about each thing having its own state and knowing like what variables do we want, what information should each child have, and going about it that way. And then there's also like common patterns too. So there's like the take it and don't take, which is like the most common thing, and it's also the most common that you see in this one, where you're just taking and not taking for these like like 5 of these, I think. And there's also things like pre-processing and post-processing. And then there's also like patterns where you're like combining different types of things to actually like have it working, right? Um, and so like going through this on an actual example, right, is that like you will have like some numbers, right? And you'll say like, oh, well, I want to generate subsets, right? So I want to generate 1, 2, and I also want like 1, 2, 3, and then I want another one that has like 1, 1, 3. Nice. One another one that has like 1, 3, and another one that has like, obviously like the 1, 2, right? And so to go about that, right, you also want like an empty one, and and essentially Solaris, what is up? What is up? I don't know how long I'm actually going to be streaming for, because my stream is like straight up just not working. I tried resetting my computer, it didn't work, and OBS is not. 2,300 elo thanks to the cost contest. Crazy. Cracked. Man is cracked. Yeah, but I think at some point the Mac OS screen is just going to stop working. So we'll see how long it lasts. You got 50th? That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, going back into the recursion thing. All right, so like let's say we have like subsets. And so we do one, and we want to like, actually here, let's actually write down. Let's see this. Actually, why am I even looking at it? It's right here. Subsets. Okay, so let's take subsets where we're given some number of unique integers. We return all possible subsets, the power set. And so like the solution looks like 0, like empty, 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 here. We can do this using recursion, right? So because we know that this is like all possible, that's going to suggest recursion. And then what we're going to do is just pass down states. There must be a function in itertools to do that. Probably. I don't know, actually. I doubt it. Subsets is weird because there's only 3 things in itertools. I've read the documentation, actually. And there's only like 3. It's permutations. No, there's 4. Permutations, product, Cartesian product, combinations with replacement. I don't think this is a Cartesian product. I don't even know what that is really, but I know it's not that, I think. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. So for something like subsets, we're going to have like, okay, well, we have this array. We're going to start with like an empty. That's going to be our like one of our like, kind of initial branches. Then we're going to pass this over. Yeah, it passes. We're going to pass this over into like our final answer. And then we're going to jump down. So we can take or we can not take. And what we're going to do is have like our initial pointer pointing to this 1. So we'll either take the 1 or not take the 1. In this case, we don't take the 1, and then we maintain this as empty. And then what we do is we update our pointer now. So now our pointer is at 1, not 0. Pass this information in, update the pointer, go deeper. With this 1, we say, hey, okay, well, we have a 1 here. Let's increase. Let's send this over into one of our final answers. Keep track that it's a 1. Now we can take the 2. So like now we'll actually have a 1, 2 in our state. And then here we can also have a 2 in our state, right? Because we're now at the 2. And then we can go down here to the 3, to where like if we were to go down into one of these, now we're going to start adding a 3, and then we do 1, 2, 3. So this is where we take every single time. And this is where we like don't take. And obviously this tree will branch out and spread and spread and spread to where we're going to get like a 2, 3 here, a 2, 3, and all that stuff. Cartesian project is when you have 2 sets and you want to pair A, B, and B so that every And the first element has the second element B. Okay. Okay. And so like going into actual like code of like what this recursion stuff looks like, right? Again, so we're going to have the subsets that we're going to be having in our final answer. We're going to have two things that we want to store, which is one, the index that we're currently at. Now you can think of this as the number, but like what you can do is kind of realize that instead of passing in numbers and also keeping track of the array, what we can do is just keep track of the index, because an index is basically a number. It's like there's like a connection between the index and a number. So we can always just pass in the index and we know what the number is. If we are ever out of bounds of this array, which is like a very common base case, then we just don't do anything. And then we just take our number and we decide, do we want to take it or do we want to not take it? And then this is where we're just adding our final answer into here. So if we do want to take it, well, and that means that we're going to be having like this path. We're going to have the path so far. And then we're going to pin like some element to it. And then when we don't take it, we're going to pin like that number that we're currently at to it. And if we don't take it, then we just pass in like the path, right? But like you can see that like this problem is really just like doing this thing, which is like we have some base case, go out of bounds. Is the sum too high, right? Oh, we'll have gone too deep. In this case, it's out of bounds. Then we create some decisions. What's our decision? Our decision is that we need to go to the next index and go to the next index. So we're either going to take or we're not going to take. And then what happens when we take or not take? Well, that means that we're not going to be passing in the paths. And finally, like that's actually just the whole problem, right? So like then the second step of this is like, okay, well, what variables do we want to pass down? Well, we want to pass down what is the path so far, because that's actually a part of the problem. Like that's what the thing that we're constructing is the path. So we want to pass this down so that we can remember it. And then we also want to pass down the index so we know which number that we need to take next. So this is subsets, and just a general kind of idea for this backtracking stuff is that I think backtracking, a lot of backtracking just uses this idea. Let me see what Solaris said. Another way is to iterate over the integers from 0 to 2 to the power of n and read the binary representation. If it's a 1 at index, then include index in the current subset. Otherwise, do nothing. If it's a 1 at index, then include the index in the current subset. I don't know anything about that. This doesn't make much sense to me. Bro, that advent to code problem for today was pretty crazy. I was not expecting system of equations. Was not expecting that at all. Was not expecting that. Let's see here. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Okay, well, no, I think that's it, actually. Essentially, I mean, that's like backtracking, I think, in a nutshell. Yeah, I don't know why I do binary search instead of just solving the equation. You can use binary search? I didn't know that. Yeah, I tried using Dijkstra's the first time. Okay, well, I wanted to basically kind of just record that so that I could maybe turn that into a video for the backtracking stuff, and then we'll just try to solve some problems, I think. But there is an edge case in which is very important and not included in the test case of the AOC today. If the vectors A and B are collinear, I don't know what that means. Like they're the same. I don't know. Let's do 1700, 1800. I tried doing a 1700 earlier and I couldn't get it actually. So maybe I should try doing that. The problem is I think this is like a, no, not math, actually. Maybe it's something like this. I don't know what I did wrong with this actually. Speaking of recursion. Yeah, so we'll compute the equation of the line generated from by vector B from target and binary search for the first value of A is taken such to switch the sides from the half plane defined by the line, which is a very convoluted way of solving the equation. Two vectors are collinear when they have the same direction. Okay. I like solving the zero track problems because I'm the only one ever doing them. There's like so many Leetcode problems that nobody's ever even seen or touched. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Okay. And then will this run at all or nah? Or nah? Okay, it does run. That's good. Now, only issue is that I think shouldn't this be like if it's K, if we're at the kth step, my solution for subsets. Is this the binary one? The binary solution? So you can do this iteratively, but using binary. Yeah, I don't know how any of that works. Okay. So what we'll do is figure out why this code isn't working. Yeah. Yeah. Ouais. As you say in France. Ouais. Oui, ouais. D'accord. As you are not on Leetcode's Discord? No, I'm not. I'm not on his Discord. Don't know a whole. I've seen a message on Smart Coder's Discord. I didn't even know. I don't even think I knew he had one. Because one, he doesn't stream often, and I also don't watch his like YouTube videos. Although I don't think he makes them really. The we pronunciation was pretty good. Good French accent. Nice. Yeah. I had a when I like did a study abroad in Spain, and my roommate was French, so I learned a couple of French words. I learned a couple French words. Tips on getting over Amazon SDE interview rejection. Yeah, I think there's like a mental aspect. Like so one is that like okay, you were rejected from an interview, and like one that's like I think it's like a mental experience. And so I think that like there's I guess mindset and all that kind of stuff that ties into it. Leetcode's Discord. All right, I'll hop in. I'll hop inside. Um, and yeah, essentially, I think there's probably like several components. Chester, Kai, Sai. I think there's several components, which is kind of weird. I don't know. There's like I feel like there's multifacets to it. One thing I'm trying to think about is also like before the interview. I think a lot of stuff for rejection probably comes with like expectations. I think a lot of it's like expectations, and there's like some component with that. And then I think that there's also maybe long term is also something. And then I also think that like mindset's also like really important. Like maybe if you can flip it into like a growth mindset. I think maybe these three things are like really important. And so like what I mean by expectations is that like if you do an action and then you expect like a good result to come from it and that good result does not come from it, then you feel like really really bad, or at least that's probably like how I would feel, right? So like you could even think of that this is like asking out like a girl or something, which I think is like a really common thing that most people kind of happen to them, right? Is that they like the rejections that hurt when you're asking somebody out is like when you were like thinking about like, oh my god, your futures, or oh my god, like this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, I deserve this. I feel like deserving is also like a factor of it, where like you you say like, oh well, I studied, oh I deserve this job, or like, oh I deserve to have like be out with this girl or whatever. And I think that like basically just before any of this stuff happens, like if you're just like okay, kind of going with the flow with life, if you're just like a chill dude, if you're just like a chill guy, um, and you're just kind of going with the flow, I don't think that like happens to you as much. Yeah. Um, so I think that's like one aspect of it. I think that like a lot of this, the suffering comes from like you had some kind of idea, you thought, oh my god, I deserve this, and then it didn't happen. Second thing that I think is like probably just realistic, which is that like at least this is stuff that helps me. One is that like okay, so when I'm interviewing, like I don't have like expectations. I'm not like assuming that because I put in the work that I'm even gonna get a job or that I'm even gonna pass the interview. Um, which sounds sad, I guess maybe, but like in the sense of like dating somebody either, it's just like I'm gonna ask you out. Like okay, you don't have to say yes. That's okay if you say no. And it's a one thing to say that, but a different thing to kind of really internalize it. So again, this is all mostly like mental stuff. The second thing for terms of like dealing with rejection, I think is like thinking long term. So like thinking long term and combining it with like a growth mindset can really take you super far, which is that like in most of your failures and rejections, like it's nothing like nothing bad happens in the short term. And so you can always like keep going and just try again. So like if you even if you fail at the Amazon enter an interview, you can still do it again. Like, okay, sure, you're not gonna get it now. Yeah, but like you could totally do it in the future. Like imagine you say like, okay, well I'm gonna solve like 1,000 LeetCode problems. Like you really think that you're not gonna get a job after solving 1,000 LeetCode problems? Like, I mean, you could totally do that um within a year. Maybe 1,000's like too much, right? Again, because it's an intern, right? Like maybe it's just 200. But like the idea is just that like instead of like giving up, I think there's two ways that you can see rejection, which is that oh I failed. Well, this is how it's always gonna be, which I think is like bad. Or it's like oh well I failed. Well thank God I learned something. I now know what not to do in an interview. I now know that I'm supposed to do like this pattern, and you just learned just way much, and you just can continue going that way. So I think that kind of depends. Like this is where we kind of branch off, where it's like there's somebody who's reached too much rejection. They've set too many high expectations, and now like they don't want to. They want to give up. Um, there's like this kind of thing, but then there's also like the reverse, where like you can actually kind of change the trajectory of it. I think probably for most software engineers, and especially in the society, is that like if you get rejected, then you just kind of spiral off, and now you're just here. So I think those things. I think that like it's one thing to say all this stuff though, but I think hopefully maybe we'll. I'm hoping at least one person here listens to me and thinks of like that like just because you fail an interview or just because you ask a girl out or whatever, that like it's not the end of the world, and that like it's you're actually moving one step closer to your goal, like on a longer time horizon than the months you were expecting. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that's my thoughts on that stuff. Chester, elite whale is my. Could you even see? Okay, nice. Thank God. Elite whale. More editor tools used to be available on Leetcode, but it had a power set function. Interesting. That's crazy that you guys know that. You can see Leetcoach's old solution for it. That's crazy. Dang, bro. You know what I just learned is that JavaScript has a heap on Leetcode. They import a library for it, so that you can actually code in JavaScript. Owen Wu, I've solved 993 problems. Still haven't gotten a job as a developer. I'm still stuck in a customer support role. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you, Owen. I don't know what to tell you. No, I think I mean there's like multiple phases, and unfortunately I have like no data that I could if I could snap my finger and get you a job, I would do it, because then I'd be a millionaire if I could do that for people. But I mean there's like several phases to jobs. I mean you have the experience side, so I don't know if your projects are good. You need to have good experience. You need to have a good resume, and then you actually need to get the interviews, which you could do that from referrals, you could do that from applying online, you could do that from messaging recruiters, and then you need to do the Leetcode part. It sounds like you're good on the Leetcode stuff, man, but like there's still this other stuff here. So I don't know, man. And then you actually have to be able to talk during the interview and answer behavioral stories. So I don't know, man. One of those is your bottleneck. You fix one of those. Stop doing Leetcode. Okay, number line. What's wrong with this code? How am I supposed to get experience when I'm stuck in customer support? You have to work, basically. I mean, you got to work outside of the hours of work to get experience. You need to build projects outside of work, or you need to tell your boss or someone in your team or one of the developers that are at your customer where you're working at customer support. You need to tell them, hey man, like I know how to code. I've solved a ton of problems. I know how to build this thing. Like, give me a task. Or maybe you just set out on your own and you say, man, bro, this thing is really inefficient at my job. Let me just code it up. And when you do that, when you actually code it, you gain experience, You are able to talk about those during an interview. You can put that on your resume, and that's what recruiters want to see is that do you have experience? So that's how you get experience is that you just kind of have to work on something, either personal projects, maybe build your own startup, or help your company somehow make things more efficient. Told my boss many times they don't care. Well, then yeah, I guess you're ideally that would be the best if you can kind of sneak your way, actually sneak your way into doing a little bit of work around the company, even building a tool that'll help you. That's the best because then you can say, oh, I'm a software engineer at this company. I'm actually a developer. Recruiter doesn't know. They won't know, man. Okay, what's this bug I'm getting in my code? What's this bug? What's happening here? 0, 1, 2, 2. This is like the problem with recursion is that it is insanely difficult to debug. I don't know how to do this. Well, how about I just simplify it? How about we simplify? Like, the problem is that this is too much, but I don't understand why. Are both of them too much? No, not even. This is like crazy. Oh my god. I don't even think my boss even knows what a for loop is. I have to bother developers for tasks and they ignore me too. It's not fun. Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, again, if they're not going to let you, there's no way, then you just have to build projects outside of work. And then you can totally do that too. And then that's going to count as your experience. But like, I mean, without the experience, if experience is your lack, right? Like, so how it normally worked is that like people would get experience in college and they would just graduate with like a 4-year degree. And then they would have like a couple projects and they would copy and paste the projects that they did for their classes and that would count as experience. But I think the job market's a little bit harder. So you actually have to build projects on your own and like not bad projects, but yeah. Yeah. To give an example, I've talked to like a lot of software engineers and I'm talking to more and more of them who are looking for jobs and like I'll see software engineers who like are in college, they graduate and they have like no projects done. I have people who want to be software engineers who for years, for 4 years, they've been thinking I want to be a software engineer and then they do no projects, like nothing. And they want to be a software engineer, but like you need to build the experience. Like I mean that's why they don't have a job is because they don't build anything. Should I go for a master in computer science to establish codability? I don't think you need a master's. I mean, again, I think the bottleneck is experience. You could code stuff like I don't believe that someone who's like built like their own database or something or someone who's like built like just crazy applications or like emulators or whatever. I don't believe that like that those are the people who can't get interviews. Like I think it's the people who just don't build projects at all and the projects that they have are just bad. It's like to-do list. Like I think that's the big issue. I don't think it's a master's degree. I mean, if you want to get a master's degree, do it. I think you're just delaying the inevitable. Like you don't have projects, but like you're gonna get a master's degree. You're gonna try to code the project in master's degree, and then, which again, I mean, people do this all the time, so you can do it. Sure. What do you build to exactly get hired? Like just build something. Like literally, just try to learn something. Learn how to do something with code. Like get really fluent at the code stuff. I don't know. Also, I don't know if you're in USA or in India. If you're in India, I don't know. You should not ask me for advice. I'm not in India. So yeah. But or Asia. I don't know. If you're in any of those places, like I'm only in the United States, man. But I mean, just literally like it's just something like to just build something. I don't know. I don't know. If you haven't built anything, build something. Like just start there. Start there. Um, bro, I'm so annoyed. Why is this happening to me? Maybe that, or maybe I'm just like just completely wrong on this. Yeah, I'm in the USA. Okay. Uh, I spent like a good amount of time trying to solve it, but I probably just look at the solution, I guess. Probably. Let's figure out what I did wrong. Python math solution, my solution, DP with memo. This is what I wanted, right? Like this is the same thing. We have steps. We check if it's greater than. If it is greater than. The problem is I did this thing here like this. Um, if it's equal. Now curious, we don't need DP. That's what the at cache is for. But then we just do C plus one, I minus one, C plus one. Oh, the only thing is I never modulate it, but I don't. I mean, that's not gonna do anything here, honestly. Mod equals 10 to the power of, I think 7, is it? Or is it 9? Mod. This isn't going to do anything. Yeah, this is cringe. I don't, like, I feel like this code is the exact same as mine that I tried. Except the difference is, like, they put it here, but. Like, I literally did I plus 1, and then I minus 1. It's, like, the exact same thing that I did. Ahmed, Khan, Yo, Raymond want to pair on some problems sometimes. Well, I think honestly, I think like the best thing is streaming and then somebody like solving alongside you. I don't have time during the day to pair on problems, but I do have time to like stream or even watch people streaming too. So I'll watch Leetcode streamers, but basically kind of how it goes is like I think doing that's good. And also there's like Leet rooms, which I guess, but like what I like for improving at Leetcode is watching streams. But I mean that it's just also more scalable too. But sitting on problems together, I mean I don't need to do that really. I've actually with Solaris, maybe if you want to do something, I mean maybe you could do like a contest together. Basically. So like you choose a contest too. So that's like a really good way to practice. I've done that with Solaris a couple times. Where we just pick a contest, just click virtual. Both of us just solve it. Like just solve it together. Um but I mean I barely have any time to do any of that. So like pairing on stream or something. Maybe. Maybe. The problem with streaming is I actually have to talk to people. Like I'm talking to you right now. And I'm not solving any problems. The debugging part when solving problems is what I'm worst at, I think. Yeah, I don't know what I did wrong here. I feel like this code in my head makes sense. Yeah, that's cool. Well, now it would be too late for me, but another day, yes. Oh yeah, I was messaging. There's a guy who's in YouTube chat who you can't see. You can't see his messages. Ahmed. And Solaris is really good too, Ahmed, by the way. If you didn't know. What is it? Iron? Fishron? I always think it's iron. So we've got 7 to 8. 228 problems. He is crazy good. Oh my god. Fishron. By the way, did you ever get stuck in upper 1700s and low 1800s? Um, probably kinda. Probably kinda. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably consider all of this stuck, honestly. January 27th, 1500. 3 months, 4 months just to get to 1700. So, I don't know. This is probably the longest period of being stuck, though. This is hardcore. I spent 3 months here, and I'm still the same elo. Granted, I don't think I was trying in these, though. You might be copying pasting. I'm a little stuck there. Used to get big elo gains. It feels kind of flattening. I don't know. Just keep going. Figure out what... I mean, I feel like this is like if I is in position. If I is in position. That's like beautiful. If if steps are greater than k, steps are greater than k, and then that's it. Interesting. 10 to the power of 9 plus 7, brother. But like, it's still 0. Oh my god. This is why, right? Start position. You're supposed to start at the start position, not at 0. Oh, that's brutal. That's so brutal. I also forgot the mod, bro. I forgot a lot of stuff, but this is like a 1700 problem. But I think it's very easy, just an easy DP one. Easy DP. Solaris, I see the YouTube chat is more active. Yeah, unfortunately, I think with Twitch, actually, I don't know. I don't know what happened with Twitch. With YouTube, I know because I actually make YouTube videos. So that's how, because I make YouTube videos, I get people on YouTube who don't go on Twitch. And I'm also like trying to grow this community too. If you guys want to try to be, or if you guys want to try, if you guys want to be a part of the community, you can head there. I think right now I have it to where I think it says like only for people with job experience, but if you're from the YouTube stream and you just want to join, I'm trying to build this community out, so that's that. Oh god. What's happening? Where are we at? Took me 8 months. 1500, 1800. Yeah, but like the other big thing too, Ahmed, is that like, I guess one really big thing to know is that this took me years, right? Like I'm in 2018. I heard of Leetcode in 2018. And then I spent all this time like just not being good. 2019, not doing a whole lot, like still doing it. I was a TA for data structures around this time. Here, I was a TA for data structures and algorithms in my college, University of Florida. 2020 did nothing, a little bit, kind of, right? But then 2021, that's when I started and like spent 3 months here, right? So like, so yeah, this growth is crazy, but like this is probably I still have the experience like from here. This is also what I mentioned too, is that like you guys get closer and closer to your goals. I mean, every human gets closer and closer. Like it just takes time. So like, yes, you're flatlining, but you should be learning stuff, assuming you're not copying and pasting, just assuming you're learning. Have you solved string compression 3? I don't think so. Don't remember it. No, do it iteratively. How do it iteratively? Yeah. I tried doing this with Dijkstra's also, and it did not work. Thought I could do it with Dijkstra's. I'm guessing this is like the bit manipulation one or something. DPs are easy, greedy is tough. DPs are not easy. Yeah, do not. Oh yeah, Ahmed, that is not true at all. DP is a. Have you guys seen that iceberg meme? Have you guys seen the iceberg meme where it's like where it's like a darkness or whatever? Like this one, bro. Like DP is like all the way here at the bottom. DP is so hard. And then like here's like arrays and all that stuff. Those are the easy ones. Prefix sums. Maybe prefix sums isn't too easy. DP is by far the least intuitive. It's the least intuitive and is extremely difficult. It's like a range. Like there's easy ones, which I just solved. There's some easy ones that I just solved. And then there's like crazy, crazy difficult ones that like you're just insane. Like you can't even imagine it. Are you good at DPs? No, I'm not. Did you solve the hards by yourself? Or no? Probably not at first. Probably not at first. How it goes with Leetcode is to get better is that you have to solve problems that you can't solve. So that's why I do this zero track. Put in the number, make it harder, and then I go here and try to solve it. I think I've done this one before. Marked indices. No, I haven't. This is a new one. We can go ahead and solve this. You can only progress if you're consistently and doing the challenging ones. Yep, just exactly as Solaris said. Guys, if you guys want to get good at Leetcode, listen to Solaris. Listen to Solaris. Also, I heard that he may be doing help for Leetcode stuff. Possibly. I don't know. What does @cache do? Madi Rahman. @cache does the same code that you saw here in the solution. @cache does the same thing, but you don't have to type it. So normally with DPs, you create some recursion, you save the state that you return, and then you check, have you seen that state before? But without cache, you can just do that automatically. So this is what this is what @cache does in Python. It's like just super clean because now you write the code, you just slap a @cache on it, and you don't have to type in DP, if this thing, and then set it to this and all that. DP for real, but it goes deep, but not like the ones of Leetcode. Not like code forces are super tough. Like DP is so general, you can make an easy problem or hard problem with it. Even the easy ones aren't easy. Understand the principle is easy. Like DP. You tell me how to get to night. Solve harder problems. Solve hard problems. Like look at my profile and look for red flags. I mean, I don't even think that like your profile is not you as a person, so I don't think that's even gonna be an effective thing, right? I don't think that's gonna work, right? You had some really crazy big gains here. 2021, you solved it, started solving. That's crazy. Your 2022 thing kind of looked like mine. I'm guessing you got a job here in April or in March. And then you stopped. And now you started again. But, I mean, there's nothing to say. You've only done 31 hards. I guess do more hard problems. Do zero track. You want to get better, do zero track. Exactly what I'm doing. I clicked here, found a random problem, and now I'm going to resolve it. See what happens. So we all out here grinding Leetcode on a Friday night. Heck yeah, that's what I do every day. Madi. That's what I do every day. I got Amazon, yeah, and then quit. Yeah. Nice. Sick. I heard they work you hard. Solve similar questions by topic rather than random questions is the best way to do it. Not really. Maybe. I think you can, I've been thinking now, at least with the people I'm talking to, and I think that you review, and then you solve harder problems that are like slightly outside your comfort zone, and then you look at the solution to those problems when you don't understand them, and then you review. So you kind of do like a circle, I guess. I would actually do that. Review into like the other thing, and then into solving, into like looking at solutions, and you just like circle around that, and you probably just get massive gains from that. Check mine. Do you guys like profile reviews? I don't even think I told him anything that was useful. I just said solve harder problems. Madi Rahman. Bro, your profile's not loading. Yeah, I think you're wrong, man. You gotta send me the right profile. That user does not exist in the Leetcode database. Review what? The problems you've done. You review the problems that you've done. You review the past problems you've done. No, okay, start one. You solve the problem. You solve a problem that is slightly harder than your comfort zone. You look at the solution when you cannot solve that problem, and you learn something. And then you review the old problems that you've done to make sure that you learn something. Again, that you actually remember it so it doesn't disappear. You do those three things. So those are the things. Also, Owen, do not ask random people to just give you an Amazon referral. I think there's a whole structure to if you're trying to get referrals to people, but that is not how you do it. Right? If you want referrals from random people, like just try to get them onto a call with you. All right, I think one, I want to really look at this problem actually. You're given a, let's look at this for 10 seconds, I guess. And then I'm gonna end stream. So 256, find the maximum number of marked indices. You're given a zero index array. Initially, all the indices are unmarked. You're allowed to make this operation any number of times. Pick two unmarked indices such that a math equation, 2 times the number is less than the other one, and then you mark them. Return the maximum possible number of marked indices using the above operations any number of times. Okay, interesting. So we have here is like some kind of math thing that it needs to be 2 times less than the number. Okay, cool. Now, one thing I like is that we could probably sort here. That probably makes sense, right? Just sort it. And by definition, we can get the smaller numbers or something. Now, what I want to do is probably like the best thing. There's several observations I'm seeing here, which is that with this problem is that like one, we want a smaller number and then like a bigger number. So if we create all the numbers in a sorted fashion, well, then that means that like that really the maximum amount of pairs we can have is like cut in half, I believe, right? Because once you mark something, it can never actually be used anymore. You have to choose two different unmarked ones. And so because of that, that means that we can only have like half and half. So we can sort the numbers, cut them up by half and half, and then now we can get some general basis for maybe a better way to do this. So for example, if something's like a 5 here, and I have like a possibly 3 here. Hold on. Maybe a 1 here. Well, I would rather the 1 go with the 5 as opposed to like the 1 going to the 100, because the 100 can be used for other ones. So this seems like it's a greedy-ish where you just sort them, and then once you sort them, you just pick the smallest one with the middle point, possibly middle point. Maybe use binary search to find like the one that actually answers it. I'm frozen. Rip. Okay, whatever. I was trying to explain that thing. And unfortunately, I think my stream thing is I can't even like make a new thing. Like it literally won't even let me. Like my OBS is just like that broken. But anyways, I think this is like the problem. I think this is how you can solve it. Is that like you sort them, and then once it's the smallest one, you can just pair it with the one like, or binary search because it's sorted. Binary search to find its target and then just mark it. And then probably just go to the next one. And like now, like your bound is like here or whatever. And then just keep going. This seems like a pretty easy problem. I'm going to try to... I mean, I don't think I can actually code this up in that amount of time. Or in the amount of time. But I'm going to do this off stream. I'm going to code it off stream for sure. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later. It's been about an hour stream. So, yeah, unfortunately the camera is like, it's still stuck. So that thing's like, I can't fix it at all. But it'll fix if I think close OBS. But yeah, no, thanks for stopping by, guys. Thanks for asking questions. The questions are good. I like the questions because one, I can help you guys. But then two, I can turn that into a video and I can help even more people. So that's like really cool. And because people probably have the same questions that you're asking, honestly. And it's also good to like talking, I guess, like hearing me talk. But 2576 is hard. I couldn't solve it. I think that's the solution though. How I described it is that you need to sort the question, sort all of the numbers, and then take the smallest number possible and then try to find like what its answer is. Because that's optimal. And I think it's like a greedy kind of approach. That's my thoughts. All right, I'll see you guys. Give me actually 1 second. Yeah, no, it's fine. Cool, yeah, peace. I'll see you guys. And good luck, Owen, Madi, Solaris, Ahmed. Who else was here? Chester? I don't know if he's still here.